This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit TemptationsTreats.com to learn more.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host at 77 WABC here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's Bo Snerdley.
America does not need other countries as much as other countries need us. And President Trump knows this. He's going to use the leverage of our markets and our country to the advantage of the people he was sworn in to represent. On the other hand, countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake. President Trump has a spine of steel, and he will not break, and America will not break under his leadership. He is guided by a firm belief that America must be able to produce essential goods for our own people and export them to the rest of the world. A strong America cannot be solely dependent on foreign countries for our food, medicines, and critical minerals.
Welcome, my friends, to the Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. I am James Golden. Bo Snerdley with you. 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. 800-848-9222. We have had headlines all over the place in terms of the news. Judge Boasberg, the nemesis, has canceled planned hearings to review Trump deportations after the Supreme Court says he doesn't have jurisdiction. Also, Supreme Court let it be known that Donald Trump can indeed, at least for the time being, move forward with letting go of some of the probationary workers that he let go. The people that brought that case, 9 attorney generals, don't have proper standing. It's a technical ruling. There will be more on that. The IRS is going to be able finally to share taxpayer data with the Department of Homeland Security about illegal immigrants. Up until now, there has been a wall in between the agencies sharing data, so the IRS couldn't share data with DHS. And we learned today that the number of illegal immigrants collecting benefits in the United States may be more than we thought. Stuart Varney had an interesting take on that. We will, if we have time, get to that. But first, ladies and gentlemen,
It's time for Radio Royalty with James Golden and America's Princess of Policy, Princess Di.
we promised on the weekend that Princess Di would join us this week to discuss China. And China is in the news. You heard Carolyn Levitt at the top of the show. China has retaliated, and then Trump threw down the gauntlet. Right now, China is facing a 104% tariff on goods. We shall see how this turns out. Your Highness, thank you for joining us. I must apologize for keeping you waiting. Carlos, at the very beginning when I asked him to call, look, don't keep her waiting.
I was not waiting at all, so don't yell at Carlos. You know he's my favorite.
Welcome, Your Highness. So, lots of news with China, and you have a take on China. I am anxious to hear what it is.
Well, I first want to read a tweet, and when it was still Twitter, from Donald Trump from September 20th, 2013. This was several years ago. Here's the quote: "Move slowly, carefully, and then strike like the fastest animal on the planet." And that is what we're seeing. My theory is that Trump, who had originally run for office and come into office in 2015-16, campaigned, knew that our greatest threat was China. He wanted to leverage a connection with Russia in order to fight China because they are basically making moves all over the world. Their Belt and Road infrastructure plan is worldwide, and he wanted to push China back. He wasn't able to do that because, of course, his use of the interest in working with Russia was used against him. And so he had years and years planning. When China brought in COVID, which he blames China for, you notice he stopped talking about China and said many times, I don't even want to talk about it. Before that, you could do compilations of just Trump saying the word China. China, China, China. And there are on the internet. He has said it in many speeches for years. And then after COVID, he went quiet about China. And this is the plan that we are seeing today. He decided that what China did to the world, and especially to the United States, was literally an act of war. And now it is payback time. And what we are seeing, he is putting on worldwide tariffs, but as Lutnick said on Sunday, it was a quote that I picked my ears up on. The reason that they're putting tariffs on the whole world is because last time when they put tariffs on China in 2018, China, like water, like an amoeba, squirted all around the tariffs and used other countries. So this time, China is completely boxed in 100% with 104% tariffs as of today. And if they don't take their tariffs off, it's going to be 117% tomorrow. And it's going to increase. Trump set his pincer movement. He set his players in place, his strategy in place, and now he's striking, as he said in that old tweet, strike like the fastest animal on the planet. And China is going to go from number 2 in the world power down several. They're going to be knocked down several pegs, which is good for America. They have been so deceptive. They have stolen our technology. They have surveilled our companies. They have set rules against us. They have taken over territories, including in our own hemisphere, which we see as the Panama Canal. And so the moves that China has been making, building up their military, especially their Navy, has been unremarked upon by the media mostly. But Trump has paid attention. And now is the time. He is not coming at them militarily. He is going to come at them economically, and they have no cards to play. And this is a wonderful thing we're about to see. Unfortunately, the whole world doesn't realize what's happening, and they just see this as, and Trump had to be a little bit cagey because it's only now obvious that the target is China, China, China. And all of the other tariffs are in a lot of ways protection for the China strategy. And so Trump is talking to them. But in my opinion, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because it's very exciting to see, and we are being protected as a country, as a future, from China encroachment. They're the enemy. And so Trump has put in a strategy that will protect us.
Wow. There's a lot there. I want Carlos have soundbite one. You just said something that struck a nerve, and you will hear it in this from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on CNBC earlier, and this is what he had to say, Princess Diana.
President Trump has maximum negotiating leverage right here, right now, and I think it would be a mistake for anyone to think otherwise. And as I said, many of our trading partners, they have queued up, and they have kept their cool. They have not escalated, and they will get priority in the queue. I think it was a big mistake, this Chinese escalation, because they're playing with a pair of twos. traditionally, if you look at the history of the trade negotiations, we are the deficit country. So what do we lose by the Chinese raising tariffs on us? We export 1/5 to them of what they export to us. So that is a losing hand for them.
Bingo. And so we are in the process of decoupling from China, which was a system that was set up under the quote-unquote free trade philosophy. The idea was that we were going to have free trade and export democracy. And what actually happened is we imported Chinese communism to this country. We have the surveillance state, the censorship, the corruption, bribery, the blackmail, and our country was hollowed out. The damage done by China has been enormous culturally. Now, it's very interesting that one of the things they now say is they're going to not allow any more movies coming into their country. That's how they think they're going to get revenge, by not allowing distribution of Hollywood films. But interestingly enough, Hollywood had to censor itself, and one of the reasons that movies have been so poor and such bad quality is because they had to get approval for Chinese audiences before American filmmakers would be able to make the film. And so China isn't going to be putting the censors on it. The movies are going to be better ultimately. So they have hurt our culture, our economy, and they have, unfortunately, the Chi-Coms have made America more communist than it was before, and Trump is pushing that back. So one of the things that I see the parallels with what Reagan did with the Soviet Union, he knew they were an immoral system, and all he had to do was stand firm and rely on the American ingenuity economy to beat them on Star Wars, and they collapsed. Similarly, the Chi-Coms, it's an immoral system. It is tyranny in their own country, and all that Trump needs to do is stand firm, and that immoral system is in the process of collapsing as well. So the standing firm, the putting on the pressure point of the tariffs is a wonderful and brilliant strategy, and it doesn't require war. It's one of the things that we will look back on with Thanksgiving, that Trump had the talent that he did and saved us.
Princess Diana, I want you to hold on, please. You mentioned, and I spoke about this yesterday, what the expectations were for China entering in the world economy. With Bill Clinton. And I played that bite from Bill Clinton. I'm going to see if we can find it. So hold on. We're coming back. James Golden, Snerdley. One pack. Well, okay.
Kamala Harris's favorite rapper alive.
Yeah, if you believe it. Yeah, her favorite rapper, right. One pack, Shakur. The other pack got shot off. Was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on this day in 2017, along with Joan Baez and Pearl Jam. Also, Electric Light Orchestra, Journey, and Yes. All of them, heavy hitters. James Golden, Snerdley. Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Princess Diana's here. Do not go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Bo Snerdley.
On 77 WABC.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
Springfest deals are still in full swing at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 bags of Stay Green Premium Color 2 cubic foot mulch for only $10. And get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save up to $300 when you buy 2 or more select GE kitchen appliances of $396 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/16, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
This episode is brought to you by GMC. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the GMC Certified Service Fresh Start Tire Event. Visit gmc.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only, highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
It's the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now here's Bo Snerdley.
1964 was the year the Supremes recorded this #1 hit. It would mark their first #1 single, the most successful Motown act to date, still. The Supremes, 12 #1 singles in the Billboard Hot 100. This one recorded at Motown Studios in Detroit on this day in 1964. I've been there. I went there once. See, I had to. I was on my way to the airport after some meeting I had to go to in Detroit for, and I'm just like, look, I am not leaving Detroit until I go by Hitsville, USA. So, Princess Di is here with us, and just a brilliant analysis of what's going on with China and Donald Trump. And I want to go back to something I played yesterday, because I think this is vital. Bill Clinton talked before about the expectations of that the United States have when China was going into the World Trade Organization. And this is what Bill Clinton said.
The WTO agreement will move China in the right direction. It will advance the goals America has worked for in China for the past 3 decades. And, of course, it will advance our own economic interests. Economically, this agreement is the equivalent of a one-way street. It requires China to open its markets with 1/5 of the world's population, potentially the biggest markets in the world, to both our products and services in unprecedented new ways. All we do is to agree to maintain the present access which China enjoys. Chinese tariffs from telecommunications products to automobiles to agriculture will fall by half or more over just 5 years. For the first time, our companies will be able to sell and distribute products in China made by workers here in America without being forced to relocate manufacturing to China, sell through the Chinese government, or transfer valuable technology. For the first time, we'll be able to export products without exporting jobs.
Yeah, okay. None of that was true, and none of that happened.
Exactly. They took the technology, they demanded Americans show them, and what they couldn't take by just simple demands, they stole, along with intellectual property. They're still doing it. Right. And they close their markets. They keep their markets closed to Americans while flooding America's market. Every single thing Bill Clinton said with the expectations of how China was going to behave as a member of the World Trade Organization, every single thing was wrong.
Yep.
And that is what led to this explosion of globalism. Princess Di, don't go away. Hold on. We got more to go with this, because this analysis that you just gave, when you linked COVID into it, I want to explore that just a little bit more when we get back. 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. It is the Tuesday edition. Princess Di is along with us. If you did not hear that analysis, go find the podcast. This is important. And she Princess Diana has just explained in crystal clear language everything that is happening on the world stage now concerning China and America.
Hi, this is Debbie, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep, I am here to help you with everything, from selecting the perfect window treatments
Well, I've got a complicated project.
Oh, not a problem. I can even schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples, fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Oh, okay.
So the first room we're looking at is for guests.
Shop Blinds.com now and get up to 45% off with minimum purchase. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet injuries and additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
It's the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now, here's Bo Snerdley.
I haven't had sex since Roe v. Wade was overturned back in 2021. As soon as they announced that they overturned Roe v. Wade, my wife and I decided that we didn't want to risk getting pregnant, and the only way to really prevent that was for both of us to close our legs. It's not that we didn't want kids, it's that we didn't want either one of us to fall pregnant and then there be complications and us not have access to medically necessary abortion. And while we both had IUDs at the time because we weren't ready to have a baby, we still liked having the idea of an abortion as a backup plan, just in case. All this to say, we haven't had sex since 2021, but my wife is pregnant. Now you might be thinking, Cass, she definitely cheated on you. But she told me she didn't, and she's given me no reason for me not to believe her. And so we prayed about it, and we've been wanting kids for a while, but we were, scared of this whole thing. We prayed about it, and we said, well, if it happens, somehow it happens. If God wants us to have a kid, he will impregnate one of us. And he impregnated my wife. We are expecting a little they, them in November of 2025.
There are some things I'm just not going to comment on. They stand for themselves. Her wife and she haven't had sex, but her wife is pregnant and they're expecting a they, them, and it was an immaculate conception, I think she's saying. Okay, on this day, 1975, Aerosmith released Toys in the Attic, their third album. This one broke the bank. 8 million copies sold of the album. Interestingly enough, this didn't go to number 1. It went to number 10 and was in the top 10. But, you play it, everybody knows it. Aerosmith, Walk This Way. James Golden, Snerdley with you here. Princess Di is with us. I want to go back, Princess Di, to... I'm still confused. 2 women don't have sex, one's pregnant, and they're having a they-them. Okay. Maybe you can help me with this, Princess Di. Am I missing something here?
I think you're missing, I can't even comment. It's just too sick for words.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, anyway. Oh, by the way, did you know that these people... I'm sorry, not these people. That sounds a bit... Did you know, Princess Di, that the left believes that something big is going to happen on April 20th?
What do they think is going to happen on April 20th?
I'm so happy that you asked me that question, Princess Di. Cut number 15. 15. Here's what they think is going to happen on April... No, hold it. Let's do 16. It's juicier. Cut 16. Here's what they think is going to happen on April 20th, Princess Diana.
Well, there are rumblings all over the media now that on April 20th, Trump will declare martial law, which effectively means the military takes over for the police. Free speech becomes illegal. Protests become illegal. You have to have the permission of the military to do anything. And worse than that, the commander-in-chief, Trump, can do basically anything he wants. Literally. okay, we may be looking at the end of American democracy, and we have 13 days left. Okay, here's my point. Please prepare your family for the worst. The other rumor is that they're going to seize all the guns. So if you have a gun, you want to keep it, you might want to bury it in your backyard. Stock up on food. Please stop spending money you don't have to spend. You may need it, okay? If he shuts everything down, you're going to need some cash. You're going to need something, okay? Please prepare your family for the worst and hope for the best. If this is just a rumor and it doesn't happen, then that's great. We're all fine. But if it does, you have 13 days to prepare. Please be ready.
Okay. Sounds like our group.
15. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
The protests on the 5th were amazing. Not only did they get some national attention, though, usual media underrepresented the numbers. Even NPR did up here in my neck of the woods, which I'm a little disappointed about. But it did gain national attention, and the energy, at least at my event, in a red state, the fact that we had several hundred, and it was just so nice to talk with people, it was honestly uplifting. So if you didn't make it to the one on the 5th, and even if you did, please come out to the one on the 19th. If Trump does institute martial law on the 20th, the 19th will be our last chance to legally protest.
Goodness. It's going to be
Trump is going to institute martial law. He's going to take their guns.
He's going to 20 years of this.
He's going to take the guns. And they won't be allowed to protest anymore.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Back to China. Oh, these people have truly lost their mind. Back to China. This is serious. I remember, and you perhaps do too, when Trump started calling it the China virus, COVID.
Right.
And right away, the MSM started telling him that was xenophobic, that he was whatever, and he just said, the virus is from China. And he understood it. I, Princess Diana, at the time, talked to a very high-ranking member of the intelligence community who told me, and I didn't talk about it on the air much because I couldn't prove anything, and but he said that inside the particular intelligence branch that he was in, they knew that this was a biological attack from China.
Right.
The problem was that the only response that we had was one that we could not take in terms of an act that would bring a military act. We could not go there.
Right.
Then, as you say, Trump now, they cost, this virus this virus very well could have cost Donald Trump that election. And in the aftermath, along with all the other things that were going on.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. The Chinese were working with the Democrats, and that was, a collusion, a true collusion. And at the time, I don't know if you remember the Limbaugh letter, we did research on that, and there were whistleblowers from the Chinese military who flat out said so on the record. And, of course, it got very little coverage in the media at all. So, yes, Trump has had years to react and to plan, and this is his plan. Interesting detail I want to get in here. Do you know that our Treasury Secretary, the Trump Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, was George Soros's right-hand man in Britain when George Soros devalued or tanked the British pound?
I had no idea. Are you kidding me?
He was. And Trump hired him specifically, I am convinced, to use his skills, his very special skills, and tank the yuan, the Chinese currency. And I think that's what we're seeing. And so this, you want to talk about intrigue at a high level, 4-dimensional, 10-dimensional chess. That's this guy's skills. While he calms the markets and while he speaks in a calm way, his skill set is devaluing countries' currency, and he's doing it. So I thought you'd appreciate that little tidbit.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay. Yep. So, and by the way, and many of us at the time, and I do remember that, many of us at the time were saying, how is the United States going to let China get away with this? In reality, this was an act of war that cost millions of lives. Yep. It has completely reordered the world economic play. And by the way, China was prepared. China was prepared. We ended up buying so much of the PPE from China because the United States manufacturing were not capable of producing it in the numbers that we needed at the time, given the panic of you have to wear a mask, everything, all of that.
Yep. And the supply chain, everything. They had around it.
It saved their economy from the tariffs that Donald Trump put on them that tanked their economy because they kept trying to do the same thing they're doing now, retaliate. And I've been saying for years, Donald Trump won that trade war. And the response for Donald Trump winning the trade war with China was for China to unleash COVID on the entire world.
Absolutely. Bingo. 100%. And so now this is the world's response, finally, through Donald Trump, whereas the yuan is going to be devalued because China has no other options in order to keep some capital flow. In the meantime, all global capital is going to come to the United States because they need a secure currency, a secure legal system, and the strong dollar, which Scott Bessent, who is the key man here, again, is keeping the strong dollar. So, yes, we're going to have manufacturing come here. Yes, the tariffs are going to cause all kinds of jobs. But what it's going to mostly cause is inflow of capital so that the ingenuity of the American people can start new businesses. And that has not been unleashed for 20 years. We've had stagnation of that kind of intellectual brilliance and creativity. It has been stifled by regulation, and that is about to be unleashed. China cannot compete with American ingenuity.
Wow. Princess Di, hold on. You're going to stay with me for rapid phones today. Please. James Golden, Snerdley. Oh, thank you, Carlos. I didn't even ask for it. MFSB. The Sound of Philadelphia. For very good reason, happy birthday today. For the one, the only Leon Huff. Of course, the production team, Gamble and Huff, made the Philly sound an international sound. The OJs, Teddy Pendergrass, Howell Melvin, the Blue Notes, Billy Paul. And then, of course, the teamwork that they did with the mighty, great Tom Bell, the late Tom Bell. They call themselves the Mighty Three. So you add in the music from the Stylistics, the Spinners, all of the things that made the Sound of Philadelphia an international phenomenon. And it is, and it was. The Sound of Philadelphia, born because Leon Huff was born along with Kenny Gamble and the late Tom Bell. Happy birthday to the mighty Leon Huff. James Golden, Snerdley, do not go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Bo Snerdley.
On 77 WABC.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss. Oof, like wind in your hair carefree. Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree. Yes. Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree? He's on a roll now. Spit toothpaste on the faucet. You got it. You got it. Peanut butter on the light switch. Oh, spritz, spritz. Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
It's the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now, here's Bo Snerdley.
On this day in 1998, Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones was rescued just before a boat he was on exploded into a ball of flames down in Rio. The boat engines had caught fire. So, thank goodness, it was running hot, but Ronnie's still with us. James Golden, I have to say also, today is the anniversary of the death of one of the most underrated in terms of people knowing her, not her talent. She was an amazing talent. American singer and songwriter Laura Nyro passed away on this day in 1997. Laura Nyro, for those of you that don't know, Laura Nyro was just, she wrote, excuse me, And When I Died, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Stony End, Barbra Streisand did that, so many others. And she had her own albums, her own records. She was a solo artist as well. And, I mean, Laura Nyro was just an unbelievable talent. He died young, very young, too young. Well, I'm not God. I'll take that back. Everything happens in his planning, not mine. James Golden, a.k.a. Snerdley, the princess is with us, ladies and gentlemen. She's been with us the whole hour. And Mr. Mike has weighed in, Princess Dan. He wants to remind you and me and the world that April 20th is also 420. Yeah, TJ reminded me of that, too. You know what 420 is, Diana?
I forget. It's something to do with Hitler, something.
Yeah, that too. There's the Hitler thing. There was also the Oklahoma bombing, but that's not what they're talking about. Carlos, what's 420?
I have no idea.
Okay. The origin? No. It's about the dope. It's Marijuana Day. It's the big major marijuana holiday in America. It's not a holiday. Well, it's...
No way.
It's a big marijuana day.
Okay.
Well, okay, don't sound so excited, Princess Di. Oh, before we take rapid phones, we got one other piece of business. Princess Di, then we got to do rapid phones real quick. Okay, you got to listen to Hakeem. Hakeem Jeffries, cut 6. Hakeem Jeffries, out again. This is what he had to say.
Extremists are trying to jam a reckless budget down the throats of the American people, take away health care from the American people, strip away veterans' benefits from the American people, and hurt nutritional assistance and literally take food out of the mouths of babies in America. Why? Because they want to pass massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors and puppet masters like Elon Musk. This is Republican policy in America, and it's a complete and total disaster.
It's creep. You can see the cobwebs coming out of his mouth. How many decades are they going to say this word for word? Unbelievable.
How many times? This is every day. They cannot move on from this stuff. It's the same.
James Golden, a.k.a. Bo Snerdley, presents Rapid Phones.
And Rapid Phones, you have a chance to talk with Princess Diana and me, Mike, in the United States, New York. You're calling from. How are you, Mike?
Hey, how you doing there, James? What you call it? Real quick, back 40 years ago, 35 years ago, when Ross Perot ran for president, he had an admiral as his running mate. The wall just went down in Germany, and they asked the admiral where we should be, and he said the Pacific. We should be watching China. That's 40 years ago. If you remember that guy,
I remember him. The admiral and where am I? Who am I? Princess Diana, you want to comment on that, please?
I didn't remember that quote, but Ross Perot had a ticket that was right on a lot of things.
Absolutely. Joe, in Brooklyn, New York, you're up next.
Hi, Sir James. Hello, Princess. I want to say something, James, I want to say something about this COVID. I'm 73 years old. I lived through every flu, every virus, anything that way. Nothing took over the planet like COVID in less than 3 weeks. My theory is that since it was the Chinese New Year and all the Chinese people in China and whatever, Hong Kong went over to visit their family, and the ones outside, the rest of the world, they came to China. I believe that the Chinese government infected them with COVID because they were going all over the world and coming from all over the world. And it was either through the air and in the plane.
Got it. We got it. And the only reason I'm cutting you down is because we're in the final minute here. Any thought about that, Princess? We got about 10 seconds.
Don't forget Fauci and his gain of function research. Couldn't have been done without him.
Thank you. Princess Di, what a treat to have you with us the whole hour. Thank you.
So much fun, Sir James. Thank you for having me.
All right. Folks, that's it for today. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude always for allowing me to do this with you. I guess we'll just see, God wills, we're here tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, I bid you adieu. Keep the faith. Bye.